Cemeteries are commonly known for being places that hold burials underground, and sometimes many, many layers underground. And while researching the video we did on the Israeli funeral industry, I came across a number of vertical cemeteries around the world, as communities try to work out a solution to overcrowding in regular cemeteries. Please like and subscribe if you find this video interesting. We post death-related content every Friday. Now let's talk vertical cemeteries. Before we start, we're not including places like the Egyptian pyramids because they're more of a crypt than a cemetery with only 1 or 2 bodies in them. In this video, we're looking at the term cemetery in a broad term and those that have been used as a way to save space, not just being above ground. So with that, starting with the granddaddy of vertical cemeteries in Santos, Brazil. And I say that because it was the first of its kind to be built in 1983. Currently, it's 32 stories high with enough space to house 25,000 bodies. It wasn't always this tall though. In the beginning, it was only a couple of stories high, but as the years have gone on and the need has increased, more stories have been added. Each floor contains 150 tombs equipped with sophisticated ventilation system and can accommodate up to 6 bodies in each. Once the body has decomposed, which usually takes around 3 years, the family of the deceased can either have the body exhumed or transferred to the building's ossuary. And I think this is actually a pretty decent looking building. It blends in well, it doesn't scream, "I hold dead people" to the neighbours. I think this is certainly something that Brazil should be proud of. As mentioned, we've done a whole video on this one, so go back and check that one out if you want. But in 2014, a vertical cemetery structure was opened in the Yacon Cemetery of Tel Aviv, which they believe will hold up to 250,000 bodies. With Jewish tradition in mind, the building's towers contain pipes filled with dirt so that each layer is still connected to the ground. And that is great, but locals were very unhappy when it opened because, well, it's unsightly, which may explain why the Israeli government decided to look for more underground options. Broadening our definition of cemetery now and heading to Taiwan, where Buddhism is the ticket. With cremation being the most popular method of body disposal in this part of the world at around 90%, this incredible Columbarium is 9 stories high and epitomizes the relationship between heaven and earth in Buddhism through shapes and symbols. Keep in mind before you say something stupid like, "Why do they need such a building? It's such a waste of space." Ancestor worship and knowing exactly where they are is very important in this part of the world. And as you can see, Taiwan doesn't do things half-assed, which brings us to... Opened in 2002, this 20-story columbarium is the tallest of its kind in the world. So far, it's only around 10% full, but when full, it will contain the remains of over 400,000 people. A company spokeswoman described it as a hotel for the dead, which makes sense when looking at these pictures. A basic individual niche measures at around 22 by 25 centimeters and starts at about $6,500 US. And these fees reserve the space indefinitely, so there's no renewal fees. Still in Asia, but this time in Japan, the Ruiden operated by a Buddhist temple is located in the middle of Tokyo. It took 2 years to build and houses 2,046 futuristic altars with glass Buddha statues that correspond to drawers storing the ashes of the dead. People can use a smart card which grants them access to the building and lights up the deceased corresponding statue to visit their deceased loved one. Clutches of flowers are left, but there is no incense sticks and no memorial plaques here. The ashes are stored for 33 years before being buried below the columbarium. This futuristic looking high-rise building named Moksha Tower will be the world's tallest cemetery if it ever gets completed. It will cater to all major religions in Mumbai. For Muslims, it provides an area for funeral and space for garden burial. For Christians, areas for funerals and burial. For Hindus, facilities for cremation and a river to deposit a portion of the remains. For Zoroastrians, a tower of silence will be located in the roof of the tower. It will also contain public green spaces throughout the height of the tower, allowing places for worship, prayer and meditation. This will be a great project, especially for the Zoroastrian community who rely on vultures for their body disposal practices, and check out our video on that one. But while a lot of groundwork has been done for this structure, it seems little progress has been made so far, which seems to be really pissing off the locals. The idea of vertical cemeteries has been around for hundreds of years. In 1820, one was proposed for London to solve its body problem, but was knocked back. Today, many countries are seriously looking into the idea, including Colombia, Mexico, Norway, France, and China. And while some may say they are a waste of space, just like traditional cemeteries, many also say the structures have found a way to save space and hold on to cultural values. Tell us what you think in the comments after you give this video a like. Now, go talk death.